Right now on ABC 15 News at 6, hello winter.
It's always exciting anytime we get snow.
A big chill blankets Arizona temps we haven't seen in years. A teen home alone when an armed man breaks in, the one thing she did to protect herself. Lazy and glued to screens, it's a stereotype One Valley teen hopes to break. The new app she's created to help people in the new year. All right, the big chill 2018. It isn't coming, it's here.
And how? Temperatures dropping in some places. They'll get to dangerous levels. That's why it's a weather action day here at ABC 15, making sure you and your family are prepared. In the valley, we'll see some of the coldest temperatures in 2 years. And boy, up in the high country, they are gearing up for single digits. Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullen's tracking the changes for us.
Amber, this is just getting started.
Yeah, we are just hours away from this freeze warning kicking in here in the valley. It kicks in at midnight tonight, lasts until 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll do it again overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. All of these spots here shaded in the light blue under that freeze warning, which extend out to the west and down to the south. And in addition to that, these spots in dark blue are under hard freeze warnings for that same time period. The difference between the two, the hard freeze warnings are even colder temperatures down into the 20s, so a more prolonged time overnight tonight under those sub-freezing conditions. So as we take a look at what we're expecting here across central Arizona, Buckeye's going to get down to 29, Santan Valley, Maricopa, Florence all down to about 28 tonight, and Casa Grande at 27 degrees. For Phoenix, we should end up at about 34, but again, much of the Phoenix metro area will be down into the low 30s and freezing tonight, even though that forecast for Sky Harbor has us a couple of degrees above. Bottom line, though, as we track these lows out for you, we have several nights in a row with some very cold temperatures ahead and another winter storm coming in as we head into the new year. Our next chance for rain and snow coming up in your full forecast.
Well, with a big chill like this, you got to take care of your pipes so it doesn't cost you down the road. Water pipes can freeze when the temperatures drop, causing a temporary crisis or perhaps even worse. So to prevent all that, spend about 20 minutes wrapping any water pipe that sticks out of the ground next to your home or in your attic or garage. You can use old towels, rags, or blankets and secure them with duct tape. Hardware stores also sell styrofoam pipe sleeves. Also seal any air leaks next to the pipes. If you're leaving town, consider just shutting off your water entirely. And while we're preparing, many animals up north are playing. Check out these pictures just sent in from Arizona and Williams. The animals testing out the snow and the snow creating such a beautiful blanket. In this picture, a viewer sending in some drone video from Pine Top, just giving us a bird's eye view there. When weather happens, we love seeing it through your eyes. Tonight and through the weekend, keep sending us your videos and pictures to share at abc15.com.
Happening right now, a Valley business surrounded by crime scene tape. Our Cliff Castle chopper over the scene near 83rd Avenue in Van Buren. We've seen SWAT vehicles and heavily armed police officers surrounding this area. Phoenix police say this is all linked to an armed robbery. We're making more calls to learn more.
A message no parent wants: a 15-year-old girl home alone when an armed man broke into their apartment. The Cliff Castle chopper over the scene near 50th Avenue in Thunderbird. The girl hid under her bed, texted mom, who then called police. Thankfully, she got out safely, but when officers went in, they say the suspect lunged for their weapon. So officers fired back, killing him. Coming up at 6:30, hear from the teen's mom, who tells us a police officer used her body to shield them. Actions, mom says, saved her and her daughter's lives. All right, it's payday, but thousands of furloughed workers who showed up still did not get a check.
Troops at the border and migrants being housed in Arizona. What happened to reform bills?
Senator Jeff Flake's been a part of all of this. He's talking big issues as well as his volatile relationship with the president. The ABC 15's Justin Pizzera sitting down with Senator Flake for one of his final interviews as a senator. Justin?
Yeah, good evening, Katie. The senator told me that he's relieved he was not on the ballot this year, and he actually feels sorry for anyone just getting into politics. Now, he came to our interview today ready to talk about everything, and he still does not hold back on President Trump, someone he clearly does not like.
The campaign rallies, the chants about fake media, and references to locking Hillary Clinton up, the very thing Senator Jeff Flake says is wrong with his own party.
You look at some of these rallies sometimes, and you look at the lock her up chants and whatever else, and you think, these are the spasms of a dying party, because with those positions and that behavior, the party will never be able to appeal to a broad enough electorate.
Today, Senator Flake does not mind talking about how much he does not like President Trump, but he says his dislikes actually started years ago, dating back to 2011.
When he came out years before the campaign and tried to maintain that Barack Obama was not born in this country and tried to disqualify him, I thought that that was an awful thing to do.
The senator says he thought his opinion would change once President Trump took office, but it hasn't. In fact, it became a deciding factor in running for office again.
For me, I simply couldn't stand on a campaign stage with Donald Trump. That's the bottom line.
Flake admits his stance on Trump has cost him some popularity in Arizona. He figures a re-election campaign this time around would have been tough.
The question became, are you with Trump? That was the overriding concern. Are you with the president? And so kind of fidelity to a man rather than principle. And so it did change that way. And I would have had a very difficult time getting through a Republican primary.
Do you think you would have come out a winner?
Not if I would have been able to sleep at night. Like I said, I could not have stood on a campaign stage with Donald Trump.
After 18 years in public office, Flake says he's happy to be leaving on his terms. As for his future, he plans to stay involved in politics.
Will you run for president?
You know, I've said that somebody needs to run in the primary. Somebody needs to remind Republicans across the country what it means to be conservative and what it means to be decent. So I hope that somebody else will.
Is that somebody you?
I doubt it.
You like that? I doubt it.
Yeah, sure doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. Of course, we are going into day 7, or just wrapping up day 7 of our partial government shutdown. And so today, Flake actually apologized to the 800,000 workers that are furloughed, working without pay. He says that this should not have happened, but he expects this government shutdown to actually happen or still be going on for weeks.
Yeah.
So I was a little shocked that he expects it to go on that long, but he says the president has to now negotiate with the Democrats, and the big question is, will that happen?
that
Yeah,
happen?
two sides really
exactly.
far apart.
Well, outgoing Senator Flake, not the only one continuing the war of words when it comes to the shutdown. Today, President Trump threatening to close the entire U.S.-Mexico border if lawmakers don't fund his border wall. All right, time now for Asked and Answered. So many people wondering if this partial shutdown continues with federal workers not getting paid. Are Congress and the president still cashing a check? And the answer is yes. President Trump and lawmakers on Capitol Hill are still collecting paychecks. Many critics suggest their salaries be furloughed, but that would mean clearing some major hurdles, including the Constitution. According to the Constitution, Congress is required to set its own salaries to be paid by the Treasury. Those salaries are outlined in a law separate from the appropriations legislation, meaning even though the shutdown is caused by a failure to cut a deal on unfunded appropriations, Congress continues to be paid under an entirely different bill. As always, if you have a burning question you'd like us to answer for you, just email to ask@abc15.com and we will start digging.
Immigration and the border are hot topics all across the country and especially here in Arizona. Now, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is coming to our state. She'll be in Yuma tomorrow visiting with Border Patrol agents. The Department of Homeland Security has come under criticism after 2 migrant children died while in custody.
This is a crisis. This is a crisis. This is a humanitarian crisis. Somebody else has to do something, not just churches.
Local church leaders reaching their breaking point with the influx of migrants seeking asylum. 2 more busloads dropped off at the Monte Vista Baptist Church in Phoenix, and there is no end in sight. ABC 15's Angie Cayley is there, and Angie, church leaders say they are determined not to turn anyone away.
When these migrants stepped off this Immigration and Customs Enforcement bus, they were greeted by smiling volunteers. For Marta, it's in stark contrast to the violence and extortion she and her 8-year-old son faced in Guatemala.
Mucho extorsionista. Lo extorsionan y si uno no da dinero, pues le quitan los niños, bien los matan o los violan.
A hot meal, clothing, and medical attention waiting for the group, even toys for the more than 50 kids. But church leaders say the resources won't be here forever.
This is not sustainable. This is not going to last for long. So we are doing okay now, but as you can tell, there's some churches that are tired. There's some churches that are getting low on their money for.
Pastor Israel Camacho says he leads one of 12 Arizona churches that have been accepting migrants since October. But when one church takes a break, one of the others works double time. For him, there's no alternative.
We get a call saying we just dropped off 100 people at the bus station, so then we have to move, we have to go.
And that's what's happening in Arizona, Texas, and New Mexico. And if there's nowhere to take them, ICE will drop them off at a bus station or on the street. Now, what does ICE say when you ask when it's going to stop?
They say they don't know. Either we get 1,000 churches working on this and this will get better, but I don't think that's going to happen because we've been calling and inviting churches to be part of this, and we're still the same small group doing this job. So,
a job they've already been informed they can expect next week. In Phoenix, Angie Cayley, ABC 15, Arizona.
Cindy McCain helping kick off the 2018 Patriot All-American Invitational today at the Wigwam Resort. Mrs. McCain was at the opening ceremony for the golf tournament where players golf in honor of a fallen or injured soldier and carry a sports bag with the name of a soldier on it. This year, the organization honored the late Senator John McCain by dedicating a golf bag to him and presenting it to his wife.
He lived every day to the fullest. He lived every day under the three words that meant the most to him, and that is duty, honor, and country.
Tournament starts tomorrow morning. It wraps up on New Year's Eve.
A Valley teen forced to play dead when an armed stranger enters her home. What her mom says an officer did that saved their lives.
You'll shoot your eye out moment playing out in real life. One family warning others after a new toy explodes.
Get ready for Amazon's Digital Day. Christmas may be over, but the end of the year is approaching, so that means all kinds of savings online for you.
And tracking your forecast, the big chill is on. Freeze warnings kicking at midnight tonight. Those temperatures down into the 30s by sunrise tomorrow morning. We'll let you know what to expect all through the weekend and the latest on this next storm coming in next week, coming up in your full forecast.
Developing right now, the intersection back open at 43rd Avenue in Thunderbird after 9 people were involved in a pretty serious crash. Phoenix police telling us an SUV was heading east on Thunderbird, hit a car that was trying to make a left turn. The SUV rolled. The woman driving it was ejected. She's in critical condition at this hour. We also are told a 16-year-old had to be taken to a trauma center, plus those 7 other people have minor injuries.
If you are the new owner of an Amazon Echo, some important information here. Be aware there's one app you definitely do not want to download. It's called Set Up for Amazon Alexa, and it's appearing at the top of the app charts. But officials say it is fake, planted to get your information. It asks for your IP address, serial number, and a name. If you need an app, download the Alexa app instead. And this one's a scam that just won't go away. Ahead of the holiday weekend, police department sounding the alarm about the Netflix phishing scam. Hackers sent out an email claiming Netflix is having problems with your payment information, and it says to re-enter it. Well, don't do that. And don't click on the links either. It's a ploy to get your credit card information. If you want to make sure your Netflix account is in good standing, go straight to the Netflix website and click the Contact Us button. You can also report the scam. Just forward the email to phishing@netflix.com.
A new recall alert tonight. Kroger recalling 9 different kinds of cooked shrimp because they're actually raw or undercooked, raising the risk of foodborne illness. The shrimp was produced in August with a sell-by date of August 25th and 26th of 2020. It doesn't appear any stores in Arizona were selling the shrimp, but you just might want to play it safe. All right, Christmas is behind us. The presents still unwrapped, but there's still time to save money. Amazon's Digital Day is going on right now. Smart shopper Chelsea Davis says a look at the deals you can snag now.
Amazon's Digital Day is a great way to find end-of-the-year savings online. There really is something for everybody.
Love to read? You can score 75% off Kindle best-selling books. Or better yet, get 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for just 99 cents. Are you more of a listener? Get a 3-month free trial of Amazon's audiobook service, Audible. There are also some great deals on tech gadgets, like $50 off the Amazon Fire HD 10 tablet. If your New Year's resolution is to manage your finances, there are deals for that too. 50% off H&R Block or Quicken Personal Finance software, and 20% off TurboTax. And if all you want to do is snuggle up and watch a movie, you can save on that too. Prime members can get up to 65% off popular movies.
Digital deals are happening online all day, so you can save from the comfort of your couch or at work. For more deals and savings, just go to our website, abc15.com/smartshopper.
All right,
Burr.
big chill.
Yeah,
Burr.
That's what it should say.
In a word,
Burr.
burr, right?
Yeah, and it's not just a quick burr either. It's going to be a long
on.
burr. Yeah, it's going to stick around for a while. We got another storm system to track that could bring more snow to the high country, but already a lot up there already. If you're headed up north, check out this time lapse.
Cool. This is fun.
Yeah, this is from the webcam at Arizona
Where's
Snow
Waldo?
Bowl. Exactly.
Where am I? Why am I not
Yes,
here?
There we
I
go.
know. All right, skiers and snowboarders, of course, already hitting the slopes, enjoying that fresh powder. Snow Bowl reporting about 8 inches in the last 24 hours and more on the way next week, as I mentioned, with another storm system coming in on New Year's Eve. Right now, the snow shower is winding down across our state. We still have a little bit on the radar as we look at ABC 15 Desert Doppler. Not much, just a little bit of blue still lingering up to the north of the valley. But now that the sun has set, things are really starting to wind down, and we do expect things to be pretty quiet over the next couple of hours here as these snow showers wrap up, skies clear out, and temperatures plummet. So here's the area of low pressure, that storm system that affected us today. It'll dig down to the south. Still a chance for some snow showers across southeastern Arizona, the New Mexico Boot Hill, and even over into portions of Chihuahua south of El Paso here going into tomorrow. And then comes the next storm on Monday, New Year's Eve, digging down from the north, bringing snow to the high country and rain potentially in the valley late New Year's Eve night. So it may be raining on some of us as we ring in the new year come midnight. Best chances will be in the higher terrain, but we're now at about a 20% chance for the valley, and the snow will continue to linger through the day on Tuesday for the higher terrain across eastern Arizona before we clear things out. So a low of 35 for the valley on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, 56 degrees. We keep that chilly air coming with that second storm system, bringing that shot in on Monday and Tuesday. And then by the end of next week, we'll start to see temperatures rebound to more seasonable levels. Winds are not that bad, but if it's this cold out, it is making a difference. In fact, at this point, Payson's at 27, but feeling more like 21. Winslow has a wind chill of 18 degrees, even though their current temperature is at 26. And Prescott has a little bit of a wind chill as well, 29, the current reading 22 with that wind chill factor. For forecast lows tonight, we'll get down into the teens in Prescott, single-digit lows along the rim, 20s in Globes, Safford, Payson, and Sedona. Upper 20s to low 30s across central Arizona, and highs in these spots tomorrow in the 50s. So well below average. And if you're up north, it's going to be freezing throughout the entire day tomorrow, with highs only in the 20s for Flagstaff, Heber, and in Show Low. Here's how it plays out in the valley. 34 degrees at 6 a.m. That's for Phoenix. Outlying areas will be several degrees colder than that, so keep that in mind. By 9 a.m., the freeze warning ends. We'll be at 40 degrees, 50s through the lunch hour, mid 50s through the afternoon, and we keep the 50s around through the weekend and into next week. There's that rain chance at 20% on New Year's Eve. We dry out in the valley on New Year's Day, and temperatures will continue to fall into the 30s each night through the new year. We'll track the rest of your 7-day forecast and when we'll finally warm things up a little bit coming up in the next half hour.
All right, you did it. Not only making it through the week, but through 2018. This is the last TGIF of the year. So here's a look at your primetime lineup, starting with Fresh Off the Boat and Speechless, then 2-hour 2020 special Killing on the Cape, looking into a 3-year search for a murderer. And we're back with more news at 10. But first, and all new at 6, the gifts are unwrapped, new toys being played with, and a safety alert coming in from one family after a holiday gift literally blew up in their face.
And we are tracking your money, fee and wage changes you need to know about that could impact your wallet in 2019.
New tonight, the "you'll shoot your eye out, kid" Christmas story warning becoming too real for a family in Utah this Christmas. Kempton Kirkwood ended up in the hospital after a toy laser gun blew up in his face. A home security camera catching the whole incident.
When I was getting the battery out, I saw stuff come out of it into my eye. It hurt a lot.
Kempton's mom understands this was a rare accident, but just wants to warn parents to be careful. The toy manufacturer has asked the family to send them their medical bills and the family is not planning on filing a lawsuit.
Tracking changes in the new year that will impact your wallet. You're getting a raise if you make minimum wage in Arizona. Starting January 1st, jumps to $11 an hour. It's currently at $10.50. This is all thanks to voters passing Proposition 206 back in 2016. This isn't the last increase either. It will ultimately go to $12 an hour by 2020. After that, the wage is tied to the cost of living. If your vehicle registration is due, expect to pay $32 more. The public safety fee officially went into effect December 1st. The fee is on top of normal registration costs. It was approved last spring by the state legislature.
Trending now, the final mystery of 2018. Who's got the golden ticket, or in this case, the winning ticket? The biggest Mega Millions jackpot was drawn in October, $1.5 billion, but that winner still has yet to come forward. They do have until mid-April to claim their prize. Meantime, another big prize being drawn today. The Mega Millions could be the 8th largest lottery prize this year.
We can dream, can't we?
Yeah.
Still to come next on ABC 15 News at 6. A teen home alone safe tonight following an armed robbery. The life-saving actions her mom says one officer took to protect them both.
A new law to save lives. A mom who lost her child to a drunk driver, praising the nation's soon-to-be strictest DUI law, and hopes others will follow suit.
And changing stereotypes one download at a time. A Valley teen launches a new wellness app, giving back to her community.
Right now on ABC 15 Arizona at 6:30. One, if not the biggest party weekends. Will you celebrate safely? A new law making one drink over the limit in hopes of saving lives everywhere. A Valley teen changing stereotypes. Her new wellness app that'll help you change too. The big chill isn't coming, it's here. Tips to keep you and your family safe as the temperature drops.
But first, a frightening ordeal for a Valley mother and teen. A home invasion leads to a deadly shooting.
Yeah, the family tells us they're still alive thanks to a Phoenix police officer.
ABC 15's Cameron Polum near 51st Avenue in Thunderbird, where he just talked to the family.
The suspect broke into the apartment through this rear sliding glass door, sending the teen who was home alone into a panic. From the only hiding place she could find underneath her bed, she texted her mother a heart-wrenching message.
When the words popped up on the screen, her heart leapt from her chest.
She's like, somebody's here, you need to come right now.
Still shaken by the moment, Portia Esserman says the message was from her 15-year-old daughter.
She's hiding under the bed the whole time because she was playing dead.
Investigators say an armed man broke into the apartment through this sliding glass door, the sound forcing the teen into hiding. According to police, she eventually made it out of the apartment believing the suspect had left.
We thought everything was okay.
Once they confirmed everybody was fine, they went inside, and at some point, the suspect actually was still inside that apartment.
Escorted by officers, Esserman and her daughter checked the apartment. That's when Esserman says she went to her bathroom to grab a candle.
I just opened the shower curtain. Here he is sitting over there with his gun. He's wearing a black beanie.
Esserman says she screamed and ran to the living room where a female officer was waiting.
He's literally plunging at her with the weapon. She's like, drop the weapon, I'm gonna shoot.
For a brief moment, he did drop the weapon, but seconds later, grabbed it again.
She was gonna take a bullet for us. Like, she was gonna take that bullet for us.
A single shot from that officer put the suspect to the ground. He would eventually die shortly after arriving at a local hospital. Reflecting on what just happened, Esserman says she's grateful for that officer's unwavering bravery.
That officer is amazing. She is incredible. She saved our lives today, and I just want to thank her from the bottom of my heart.
Neither Esserman or her daughter knew the suspect. We're told the apartment complex is in the process of helping this family get relocated to a new unit. I'm Cameron Polum, ABC 15 Arizona.
Just terrifying. Cameron, thanks. Police have not identified the suspect at this point. Full review of the shooting is underway. It is now the 44th officer-involved shooting by Phoenix police this year. See a full breakdown. Head to our website, abc15.com. Developing right now, a police officer hospitalized after being dragged during a traffic stop. Police tell us this was part of the East Valley DUI task force that was set up near 41st Street in Osborne. The officer was conducting a traffic stop when the driver took off. The officer dragged by the car. Thankfully, the officer is expected to be okay. Police are still looking for that driver tonight.
Right now, our law enforcement agencies across Maricopa County are joining forces to crack down on impaired drivers ahead of New Year's Eve. You can see all the patrol cars and vans and motorcycles. It's all a DUI task force set up near 32nd Street and Indian School. This is last night. Expect extra patrols to keep you safe all weekend through Tuesday morning. Going beyond patrols, our neighbor to the north is taking legal action to stop drunk drivers. In the new year, Utah will have the nation's strictest DUI law. It's a move one mom is praising for so many reasons. Nicole Vowell has her story.
We pulled out a gurney with a white sheet on it. He pulled back the sheet and the detective asked me, "Is this your daughter?"
He came upon the scene of the crash and had to identify her at the scene. That was 18 years ago.
Helen Whitty's family has been living with heartache since June 1st, 2000, the day their daughter was killed.
Went to the end of the driveway, blew me a kiss, and said, "I love you, I'll be right back." And she took off.
That day, 16-year-old Helen was rollerblading down this Miami sidewalk near her home when a car came barreling toward her.
And there was nothing she could do. She could not get out of the way, and she was hit and killed instantly.
Do you know what it feels like to be called a murderer?
17-year-old Carla Wagner was behind the wheel. In 2001, she was sentenced to jail time and ordered to speak while in prison to high school students about the dangers of drunk driving.
As a mother, the fact that the offender would be speaking and telling her story without anyone hearing my daughter's story was, quite frankly, appalling.
The Whittys asked the judge to join their daughter's killer in those speeches. But this sparked Mother Helen to become part of what she calls a life-changing organization.
We help victims of DUI crime at no charge.
Whitty is now the incoming president of the nonprofit Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, dedicating her life to her daughter's story. She speaks around the country advocating for victims and their families.
2 out of 3 of us are affected by a DUI crash. Property damage, injury, or fatality. That's way too many.
Whitty is now waiting to see how Utah's new DUI law will impact these statistics.
I'm grateful. Anything that will stop the tragedies is what I want to be for.
Utah has elected to lower their legal limit from .08 to .05, the strictest DUI law in the country. Whitty says this is a huge step in the right direction.
Countries with the .05 have seen a decrease in deaths and injuries and crashes.
The Utah law may be a big change, Whitty says, but we can all do our part every day to change even more.
This is so simple. If you drink, don't drive. If you drive, don't drink.
I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
Nicole, thanks. All right, here it is. Crank up the heat, grab a blanket. The big chill is here. And while it may have some of us shivering, others are embracing it. Our crews up in Basin today, where locals and tourists alike tell us they are excited to see the snow. Neighbors say these are the first flurries to really stick this year, bringing in the tourists and the money for the towns. And so many of you sending us pictures. Take a look at these sent from Eager and Greer. We love seeing the weather through your eyes. So when it's safe to do so, send those pictures to share at abc15.com. Amber?
Now at this point, and the winter weather is going to be sticking around, even though the snow and the rain are coming to an end across our state. Now we got to deal with those really cold temperatures as our skies clear out. So freeze and hard freeze warnings in effect over the weekend. It's 2 time frames here, so a double dose overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, and then again overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. Both times we're talking lows in the low 30s across the Phoenix metro and areas south of here down into the 20s. So it's definitely the case where you need to protect your pipes, your plants, bring your pets inside, check on the vulnerable people you may know as well. Make sure the heaters are on, extra blankets are on the bed. It is going to be downright cold. And again, as we track ABC 15 Desert Doppler, the snow showers are on their way to dying out completely. Over the next couple of hours, that radar will clear out, but our next blast comes on New Year's Eve. The forecasting cold as that shot of cold air comes in on Monday and Tuesday, and we have more chances for rain and snow as well. may impact your New Year's Eve plans too. So I'll get the latest for you on Futurecast coming up in just minutes.
Well, ADOT warning you to be prepared before driving in this big chill, because even if you check the weather and it's not snowing, conditions, as you know, can change so fast. Take a look at your car battery, the defroster, the brakes. Make sure your headlights can be seen in low visibility. Have snow tires or chains just in case, and of course, leave enough space between you and the car in front of you. As you prepare for the new year, you may be looking to better your health or even your finances. Turns out there's an app for that. ABC 15's Jamie Warren shows us the Valley teen who's making it possible.
Anissa Ferris is not your typical 17-year-old.
I feel like there's a stereotype about teenagers that we're kind of just lazy and we kind of just sit at home and watch Netflix.
This junior at Basis Mesa Charter School set out to make a difference.
I found out that there's a huge need at Hope Women's Center for female hygiene products.
Ferris started a donation drive, and in return,
I started thinking about ways I could help even more people.
That's when she saved up her money, began researching, and eventually designed and launched WellNexus, an app for your phone connecting women and men with resources for their health and well-being in an easy way.
On Google, there's a lot of information, but I think that's what makes it even more confusing.
For example, if you need help with your finances, just click on the tab. It then brings you to a link for a credit calculator, food banks, and an article about how to save money. There are also resources for keeping your mind, body, emotional, and spiritual wellness in check.
In today's age, we have a lot of different mental illnesses that we need to bring attention to. And I think beforehand, we wouldn't always give them the attention they deserve.
Ferris hopes this app not only helps people, but shows teens have the power to put their skills to good use.
Teenagers are the next generation, and a lot of us, I know a lot of my friends, we want to help.
Jamie Warren, ABC 15, Arizona.
The app officially launched for Android users last week. It is free. Ferris is working to get it available for Apple iPhones as well. All right, it's the final Friday of 2018, and if you're still finalizing your New Year's Eve plans, Arizona has several uniquely Arizona celebrations. Catch the pine cone drop in Flagstaff at the Weatherford Hotel. In Tempe, they'll be dropping a sunburst, a deuce of clubs in Show Low, and Prescott will drop a boot at midnight. Of course, like every year, security a big concern, especially in New York City. On New Year's Eve, more than 1 million spectators and big-name performers will all be packed into a nearly 2-mile perimeter. It is the most complicated event of the year for New York City police. Snipers spend months preparing for it, but New York City police say their biggest secret weapon? Simply blending in. Still to come, the medicine we need may start costing us more, why drug prices are expected to rise soon. And you won't find these players on the field, the court, or the baseball diamond, but with a controller in their hand as esports is on the rise.
And we're just hours away from these freeze warnings kicking in as we continue to track our big chill. Those freeze warnings in effect tonight and tomorrow night. We're going to take you city by city across the valley so you can see just how cold it's going to get coming up in just minutes.
Startling new information out today about the opioid epidemic. A report from the Journal of the American Medical Association shows Arizona had the largest increase of opioid-related deaths, up 122%. It also shows children are getting hit especially hard, dying at a rate that's tripled in the last 20 years. 75% of those deaths are caused by prescription opioids. 80% were accidental and preventable.
A lot of this is children climbing underneath sinks or into medicine cabinets, or teenagers getting curious with parents' medication. This underscores the importance of really getting rid of these medications when you're done using them.
The National Safety Council is providing free postage-paid envelopes for people to get rid of their unused medications properly. They can be ordered on their website, nsc.org. Meanwhile, the new trade deal with Mexico and Canada will impact our medicine cabinets. The agreement includes rules that drug makers in Mexico and Canada will now need to wait 10 years to make a generic version of a prescription drug. Americans often rely on these Mexican and Canadian generics because here in the U.S., drug makers have to wait 12 years to sell generics.
A transformer explosion at a power plant in Queens gave New Yorkers an unexpected light show last night. The blast not only lit up the sky, this bright blue color, it shook buildings, rattled windows, sent people running out into the streets.
It was fireworks going off, and I looked to my right, and I saw
just the yellow sparks in the sky. It looked like blue fire. You look in the sky and it was bright blue. It was insane. It was a really weird blue color too. I was like, aliens are here.
Well, the transformer explosion even forced LaGuardia Airport to close temporarily. No reports of any injuries, no reports of any aliens, as he mentioned, either.
All right, now to the latest as we track the big chill here in Arizona. High country getting some snowfall, and ADOT tweeting about their snow plows, saying they are, yes, out and about, busy clearing the roads. This is on State Route 260 toward the rim. If you care about your car, give them plenty of space.
Yeah, for sure. My
Yeah,
gosh,
lots
be
of
safe out there.
In the high country, the snowfall totals are still coming in. Now, I'm going to show them to you, but keep in mind, these are only the reports that came into the National Weather Service.
Okay.
So if you're watching from these areas and you say, hey, wait a minute, we got a lot more than that, email me. Or email the National Weather Service because we need to update these totals. Sunrise, Forest Lakes, Pine Top Lakeside, all at about 8 inches. Donny Park, 3.5, Sholo at 3, Eager and Flagstaff, about 2 to 2.5 inches, and 1 to 1.5 so far being reported out at Heber Overguard and in St. John's. Tonight, the snow showers are wrapping up, just a little bit to track to the north, but we are well on our way to a quiet night here across the state and a cold one too. 50 right now in Phoenix, Mesa at 46, Avondale and Glendale in the 40s as well. And as we head into the overnight hours, these temperatures will be dropping into the 30s all across the Phoenix metro. A lot of spots freezing tonight here across the valley. So let's check them out. 32 in Tempe and Paradise Valley, 32 in Mesa as well. So right to the freezing point there. Scottsdale at 30 overnight, upper 20s in Queen Creek and Santan Valley. Highs in the 50s across the valley tomorrow, which is going to be about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. If you're watching from the West Valley, lots of freezes out there tonight as well. Low 30s in Levine, Litchfield Park, Avondale and Goodyear overnight. Buckeye gets down to 29. Wickenburg and Luke Air Force Base down to 31 by sunrise tomorrow morning. Single digit lows along the rim, so even colder up there. Teens in and around Prescott, 20s in Sedona and Payson. Freezing 20s south and east of the Phoenix metro as well. And even though they won't be freezing, it's still going to be awfully cold in places like Bullhead City, Lake Havasu City and Yuma. Those lows tonight down into the upper 30s with highs tomorrow in the 50s out there. Prescott and Sedona back into the 40s tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the 20s along the rim, so it's going to be freezing all day long in places like Flagstaff, Heber and Sholo tomorrow. And then comes the next storm system we're tracking on Monday. Yes, New Year's Eve, digging down from the north, bringing more snow to the high country and a chance for some rain showers here in the valley late Monday night into Tuesday. So potentially impacting that time frame when we're all out celebrating and ringing in the new year. So keep that in mind. Better chances for showers will be up to the north. We could see several inches of snow along the rim and into the Flagstaff area, and the snow showers will continue throughout the day on Tuesday for New Year's Day before this system clears to the east through New Mexico late Tuesday into Wednesday. So as we track it out for you, the cold air is here to stay in the valley, highs in the 50s all through the next several days, through the weekend, through the first couple of days of the new year. Lows stay in the 30s for the next several nights, and then we'll see a gradual warm up toward the end of your 7-day forecast as high pressure starts to build in again. So sunny and dry to the middle of end of next week, and by Friday we're back near average with a high of 66.
ABC 15 Sports, sponsored by Sanderson Ford.
The LSU Tigers and the Central Florida Knights hitting the field for their first practice here in the Valley. The two teams face off Tuesday in the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale. Kickoff is at 11. Pre-game tailgating, though, begins at 7:30 in the morning. There's also the annual Fiesta Bowl parade, which takes place tomorrow morning.
From the field to the big screen, esports are quickly becoming the next big thing. Video game competitions are expected to become a nearly $2 billion industry by 2021. And that means new athletes raking in some big money.
You can get anywhere from a $30,000 to a $300,000 tournament. And if your team is consistently playing throughout the country, throughout the world, then you are able to earn a living traveling with your team.
But just like any big money career, you also have to put in the work. Professional gamers say they'll practice 100 hours a week, all in hopes of taking the grand prize. Last summer, the biggest tournament in the world had a prize of more than $25 million.
Still to come, saying sorry. Outgoing Senator Jeff Flake talks about the government shutdown, why he says the end is not near. Plus, a holiday miracle. A wedding ring thought to be lost forever helps create a new friendship. A heartwarming story. Up next. Let's get you caught up on tonight's top stories right now. Shut down right into the new year. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake making national headlines, saying even the new Congress in January may not be able to get the government back up and running. Speaking with us today, saying it'll be some weeks after Congress reconvenes on January 3rd. Flake also saying he's sorry to the 800,000 government workers who are going without pay.
Safety alert if you are traveling this weekend. Coconino County Public Health Services confirms 2 foxes have tested positive for rabies. Both foxes were captured after reports of attacks in Flagstaff. Health officials reminding everyone, be extra vigilant if you're outside. Keep your pets vaccinated, keep those vaccinations current, and keep your pets on leashes.
Some new numbers show flu cases in our state are on the rise. The number of cases reported just last week surpassing the 5-year average. Doctors reminding you to take action, reminding you to wash your hands to prevent spreading, and best of all, if you can, get vaccinated.
All right, tracking your forecast, the chill is on. Freeze warnings in the valley overnight tonight and overnight Saturday into Sunday night. You can see, though, those lows are going to stay cold in the low to mid 30s through next week as well. Highs in the 50s, about 10 or so degrees below normal as we head through this weekend. And another storm system on Monday, New Year's Eve. Chance for rain that night in the valley and more snow up north.
Trending now, a woman in Washington thought her wedding ring was gone forever when she lost it inside a Walmart back in October. Fast forward to Christmas. Shiloah Avery opens up a new Instant Pot she got for Christmas, and inside was a wedding ring. Avery turned to social media to try to find the rightful owner.
I don't think I'd ever see it again.
To me, she is my Christmas angel. She is just my absolute Christmas angel. It made my year.
Just being able to give somebody like that high of such good emotions, I was like, I just made all of us feel good.
Joanne says the ring represents 20 years of happiness and the start of a new friendship.